I'm like sweating. Social interactions make me so uncomfortable. Let's talk about DreamHack. This is a gaming convention that happened in Atlanta, Georgia. We also have one in Dallas, but I went to the one in Atlanta. 2 weeks before the event, they just had a hurricane, and compared to last year, they changed venues, they also changed the dates. So I knew it was going to be very risky, but I went anyways because I knew if I didn't go, I would have FOMO. And I was like, why the heck not? Let's just go. Let me just tell you straight up, it did not go well for me. I had lots of learnings and analysis, so stick around to the end. If you're new here, my name is Shirley. I'm an artist and I share my artist life here on my YouTube channel. Let's go! This is the structure. It's a little shorter than I wanted because I'll be setting up on myself and I don't think I can set up one bar higher. Like these are made out of bars that you can connect to each other. The booth is 10 by 8, so I'm not sure how I want to use the space because it's also, everyone is in a corner booth position. I want to get new clips because right now each of these have like dangly things. And then I just need to order the new prints for their 11 by 14. New backdrop clips and new large prints. It's literally 4:26 and it's already getting dark outside. I'm gonna go turn on the lights. Okay, I'm gonna let you in a little secret. This is how I keep track of inventory. So before every event, I want to make sure that I know how many of each item I'm bringing. To give you an example, it's just a very simple spreadsheet of how many I'm bringing and how many is left. And I do that for every category of item. So over here, you see stickers, like at this particular event, the corporate bear sticker, I brought 50 and there was only 7 left. I sold 43, so that was a really good seller, so I highlighted yellow. I'm able to keep track of what are the consistent best sellers across different events and also see quirks like for particular types of events, is a particular type of item or particular design really popular. So that way, if I do the event again next year or do a similar type of event, I'm able to plan accordingly. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go through all the items and just like pack how much I think we're gonna bring and enter it into our spreadsheet. I've never done a 3-day event before. This is a 3-day event. We're selling on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I feel like I'm scared I'm not gonna bring enough because last time when I did a 2-day event in San Jose, I didn't bring enough, but that was also a very good event. Also, I've never sold, this is hard, I've never sold in Georgia before, so most people there, also because they're gamers, like they've probably never seen my art before, so I am selling to a fresh audience, but I don't know if that's necessarily my audience. Whatever, I'll just bring 150 of the popular designs and 100 of everything else. Also, I know this is very janky, but I think I'm just gonna put my stickers in this. This is really janky, but I use washi tape to tape the whole thing up. It's genius because it comes off so easily as well. Sleep now, cry later. Drink water stickers because they're really popular. Back off. Spicy ramen, I code. Already getting kind of heavy. I'll just bring this as my carry-on. Head empty, vibes only. Clover dude. Not a baddie, just a saddie. Also bring 150 of these because these ones are really popular. Some of these bunny stickers that I have left. Chunk. Wait, I feel like I don't have enough. Wait, I really don't have a lot of stickers left. What? Alright, I think that's basically all the stickers. You may call me the queen of packing. You see that? 14.25 kgs. And then this is exactly 23. Packing for this trip was literally the most puzzle master prioritization I've ever done in my personal and professional life. Oh, plus I have this Trader Joe's tote. Also very heavy, but I really wanted to get it down to one checked bag, and it looks like I'm not wearing anything, but I am. I got it down to one checked bag and one carry-on. Also, I know I didn't film like any of the other prep stuff because I was just like way too stressed. Tomorrow's flight is at 7 a.m. and it's 10 p.m. But everything is in. I had to take out a bunch of stuff, mainly because my new rack, like the thing that clamps onto the table, is very heavy. Okay, I'm finally here at DreamHack. My bags took like 40 minutes to come out. And so I'm finally here now. I'll show you my space. It's like a very legitimate booth. Look at everybody else's stuff. They're so like prepared for the corner booth situation, but I couldn't bring enough stuff. We're just Alright, this is what the setup is looking like. I think this is all I'm gonna do today, and then tomorrow morning I just have to lay out the prints and stickers. It's a little awkward because I only have one table, but I have an entire booth. So I slanted it a little bit. Hopefully like when people walk by, they'll like, you know, like, oh, what's this? And then come and see my table. I have my banner up. It's also kind of weird because this is slanted, but it's whatever, honestly. Here's an Artist Alley sign. And then I'll take you around and show you what the place is like. There's one more thing I have to do before I go, which is put up the signs for the exclusive stickers, like these guys. And then also compile the mystery bag. So I didn't compile them before because the shape would be kind of weird and I didn't want it to get hurt in my luggage bag. So let's just do that right now. I really took my time to like think about things and redo things. So it took about an hour and a half. If I really wanted to, I could have done it in an hour, I think. This is my exclusive sticker sign. Okay, it's a little hard to read, I feel like. It merges into the background. It's whatever, it's fine. Really, this morning on my flight, my bag was like my carry-on was like super heavy, and then it actually got pulled aside, which has never really happened before. But anyway, the guy like pulled it aside and then he was like, then he saw the giant bag of stickers inside and he was like, what is this, stickers? I was like, yeah. And then he holds the sticker bag in the dumbest way possible. He holds it like this, and it's in this gigantic plastic bag with all my stickers in it. They're like bundled up and wrapped up with washi tape. And then he holds it like this, and then a bunch of them like fall out and then they like scatter across the ground. And he wasn't even apologetic. Just like, oh, they're open. And then he was gonna carry them to like take a look or like run a test or whatever. But then I think because he felt bad that everything spilled out, he just like, after they picked everything up, they just like gave it back to me and they were like, here you go. And then everything was like exploding everywhere. So that's how my day started. But after that, it was okay. And I'm just glad we're here. We're setting up. These mystery bags have been giving me so much anxiety, but I think they're pretty cute. I'm just gonna make a couple of them. Like, honestly, I don't know how this is gonna go, so. Okay, I made 3. Final peep in my booth before I leave. One more, like, really sad story. I had, like, 3 enamel pins on my Trader Joe's bag, and all of them fell off. And I lost 2 of them. I found one when it fell off. We're, like, very out of the way, so I'm a little bit concerned. Pen trading. Okay, I didn't do this, but Happy Ashy. Oh my gosh, little froggy dude. That is so cute. See you tomorrow. Usually when I'm at these events, like I don't have time to leave my table, and I'm also like extremely introverted, and so I don't make any artist friends. But this time I'm gonna make it a goal to actually go around and talk to people. So I was thinking I could get like some snacks and then write a cute note for everyone, and like when I really like their art, I can just be like, I'm a fan, and then like throw it in their face and run away. That's what I plan on doing. I had such a hard time finding Artist Alley, but we're like here. This is the layout of the convention center. So you can see it's like very much so in its own little corner. And I'm like here. Okay, and now I'm gonna probably just go check in my hotel. You order Uber Eats. I'm lost again. How do I get out? Our DoorDash is finally here and it's like 9 p.m. Got this chicken katsu sando, side of soba. Okay, there's no utensils. there are no utensils. Okay, I got fork. I think I'll save maybe the sandwich for tomorrow. If I'm really hungry, maybe I'll eat everything. This looks good. I have a bad feeling about this. I feel like I'm not gonna do well at this con. Maybe it's just me being pessimistic, but I feel like my setup isn't as grand as I want it to be because I could only bring one checked bag and one carry-on. Like I couldn't bring another bag because I don't think I'll be able to physically carry everything. The thing is like, I don't really feel like my target demographic is really at this convention. I really wanted to do it because it seemed fun and I wanted to just do a lot of cons this year just so I get into the rhythm of traveling for markets and also understand like what the different markets are and just like, you know, instead of just watching reviews, actually go do it myself and figure it out. Maybe I'm a little too pessimistic given that it hasn't started yet. We'll see the vibe tomorrow. One more thing before I go to bed. I was stalking every single artist who's going to be at the artist alley tomorrow. Like I went onto the DreamHack official website and just like clicked into everyone's Instagram and looked through their portfolio like some sort of psychopath. I took note of which booth they're gonna be at and what they're selling that I'm really interested in, and I'm gonna write a note for each person and I'm gonna make a little snack pack for them, and if people reject me I will literally cry. Also, I'm not sure what I should write for my notes, so for some of them I'm like, hello, I really like your art, hope you have a good dream hack. And then by the third one I wrote have snacks and then 5 exclamation marks because I'm trying to be quirky, I guess. So I'm gonna finish writing these notes and then we'll give out the snack packs tomorrow. Here it is! It looks so cute. We're totes, and this guy is new. The spoopy bag. Prints, our hats, mystery bags. I think they look so cute. 2 of our coat, 2 of our small prints, and then stickers at the front with the sticker board, and then our canvas print in the middle with the larger prints on the side. And then washi tape. I packed a bunch of snack packs and now I'm gonna go give them out. Let's go. Biscuit flu. They're also from Seattle. With them Gojo hats. So cute. Ah, other EVs. Here you go. Bye. Wow, everyone's booths are like so grand. This is Cackle Studio. They have so many handmade things that are super cute. The kitty card. Hello. I'm Shirley. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Here's a little snack that I snuck in. This one. I love your haiku, like the Kenma like face. This is a cat square and she draws all her cats and they're so adorable. Oh my god, all these pins. All of them. Your handle, mint. So many, look at these guys. They're so cute. And the extra big ones. Whoa, some of these booths are so gigantic. Hikalin Studios. This is Erica. And she has so many Pokemon stuff. This one I see a lot on social media. You're so cute. I love the little sticky notes. Okay, I think that's all the time I have, but I'm like sweating. Social interactions make me so uncomfortable. Oh, a cat square gave me the cutest stickers. The staff at DreamHack were so nice. This guy just like popped by and was like, have I given you candy yet? And then he gave me like, so I will be munching away on these. One thing I realized was, one, I didn't leave a space for my face behind the display, so it's like really hard to see me. Like literally, I'm like, there's like that much of a window. It's kind of really dim here, and they told us before, but I didn't know it would be this dim. It's a lot of people's first time at DreamHack. We're all not really sure how it's gonna do. So to give you an idea of how slow it's been, it's 1:16. The event started at 10, and I think I've made probably $150. I've had like what, 5 sales? I had a concern that you know, like maybe people who are gamers, like this isn't really my target demographic. But if you look around, there's literally no one. Like there's a lot of space in the artist alley. Let me show you from my little window. This is what I see. So yeah, 1 or 2 people walk around. Yep. It is a Friday. Even if it gets a lot busier on Saturday, I don't feel like it's gonna be busy enough to justify the cost. Like at this point, I'm like, I don't feel like I'm gonna make back my expenses, because my expenses for this were over $1,000. It's the most I've ever spent on a single event. So at this point, let's see, I'm looking forward to going to the aquarium on Monday, and I think this is just me paying money to learn a painful lesson. I mean, it's bound to happen. Like I knew something like this was gonna happen, where an event wasn't gonna be super profitable or where I would like even lose money. I guess this is that experience. And Artist Alley this year is exactly 60 artists, and apparently a lot of people applied. They said they received over 600 applications or 800 applications. It was juried, and each artist gets a 10 by 8 space, and we each have a 8 feet long table. And of course we have like this backdrop as well as this like divider thing between artists. So the booth setup space is very, very nice. And the table fee was $650 and $500 if you designed a DreamHack exclusive merch. So for me, that's the sticker that I designed. So I think most artists designed something, so we only paid $500 for the booth. But apparently last year the booth fees for DreamHack was only $150. I just remember it being less than $200. So they really upped their prices, and they also increased the number of artists. So I think last year there was about between 20 to 30 artists is what I've heard. And I think the location is also different. So this time DreamHack Atlanta is in the Georgia World Congress Convention Center. It's like the one beside the aquarium, and apparently last year is a different location. The reason why I decided it would be worth it is because I wanted to like experience going to a convention that is a little further away from Seattle. Also, I wanted to just see how I would do at something like a gaming convention. So this was more of like, this was a very risky experimental move on my part. I guess in my mind I was like, oh, if they raise table by this much, maybe they're making some changes, you know, like changing the location of Artist Alley, changing how things are done so there's more people. But I don't know if that's actually what happened. I also thought that because Artist Alley is larger this year, it's like double the size of last year, right? If you just look at the number of tables, that it would be more of a thing. So it's like, well, it's big enough where Artist Alley is like a thing, but it's small enough where maybe each vendor can still have, you know, a bigger portion of the overall market. But I also don't think that's happening. That's some of the rationale behind why I chose to do this event, because I knew it was very risky from the beginning. I'm not like destroyed by the fact that it's not going super well, but yeah, that's what happens. You live and you learn, and you take risks, and sometimes they don't always pan out. Let me walk around a bit and show you how dead it is. So we're looking at the non-Artist Alley bars. The starting here is Artist Alley, and then this is my booth. And right now it's about 2 p.m. 2 p.m. This is what we're seeing. Okay, we're back, and it's day 2 of DreamHack. It's like a smidgen better than yesterday, like a little, like the tiniest smidge of smidges better than yesterday. We've made a couple of sales. What time is it? 12:30. Yeah, yesterday this time was completely dead, but today there's like a little bit more people. But if this is what it's like on a Saturday at 12, I think I can anticipate what it's like for the rest of the day. So the goal now is to just make back my costs. This is the most I've ever like interacted with other artists at any con, so that's been really fun. And I'll do a little review of my items. I'm about to do it now. They're all Pokemon themed, bro. They're not all Pokemon. Oh yeah, I just realized they're also colored at the back. They're so cute. This is from Tiff Blot. Haikyuu print. It's so cute. Jigglypuff. This is her exclusive DreamHack merch. It's a little fridge magnet. He's so cute. Look at him. And he's angry. There's a little pin I got from a cat square. Yeah. Look at the little dingly. I'm gonna open this, but I got, this is so adorable. I think this is my favorite purchase. This is like a fox sticker sheet, and just look at all the expressions. This is from Snoddle, and then I also got a couple of prints from her, Haikyuu prints. A lot of lookers. A lot of people I realized would just like stand in the middle of the road and like chat with their friends about what they're gonna do next. It's now 2:14, and we just hit $1,000 in sale. So this is a day and a half into the event, so we have another day and a half left. So at this rate, we're on track to make $2,000. It'll probably be a little bit more, given that Sunday will probably be busier than Friday, but that is probably barely enough to cover the costs if you also consider things like taxes and fees and things like that. We are at Pond City. This is Biscuit Floof, aka Kaylee. We're trying to find some dinner. Day 2 was a little better. So it was a great day, but it was better. Now we're gonna go look for food. This is actually really cute. It reminds me of U Village, or kind of like Chelsea in New York. Anyways, you get the vibe. South food. What'd you guys get? It's finally day 3, and I feel like there's less people. A little bit less than yesterday. And the EP ghost.
The EP-ness has really hit me.
And I just want to take a nap. There's a little bit more people. I need to go back to my booth. There are people in my booth. There are people in my booth. Okay, we're basically half an hour. We're 20 minutes away from 6, which is when we can pack up. And today is better, actually, than Saturday. In the morning, it was really, really dead for me. But in the afternoon, it picked up quite a bit. And overall, we did better than Saturday. I'll show you what the table looks like at the end of the day. So we surprisingly sold most of our totes. Those are the only 3 left, one of each design. In the morning, there was still a tote full of racks. Sorry, a rack full of totes. So we did pretty well there. We sold some hats. A group of people bought a bunch of mystery bags. We didn't have a lot in the first place, but I think these are the last 2 left. Didn't do as well. Sold some stickers, but I like brought a lot. So I sold one of these flower bags. Honestly, if you look at the table, it looks like this is at the beginning of a convention. That's the end of DreamHack. I was too drained and too much of an introvert, and also just physically too tired to go eat with artist friends, so I DoorDashed. I didn't realize this much, but I DoorDashed some Korean fried chicken, and it came with like raw onions. It came with like this sauce and raw onions. I think you're supposed to, it's like a creamy onion thing. I don't know how I'm gonna eat this. But I wanna spend some time to talk about the other good and bad things I noticed about the show. One good thing was like they actually gave us a full booth. It was like an 8x10 booth, and you could add more tables if you wanted, which I didn't really take advantage of because I'm flying from out of state. But people had like, you know, everyone had a corner booth essentially, so people took advantage of that. So what else is good? The staff are so friendly. Multiple times during the day, they would come by and ask if they needed someone to man my table while I, you know, went and got food or went to get a bathroom break. That was super, super nice. Yeah, the staff were just also lovely. Like when we're loading out, they would help hold the doors open, and like, you know, they were just like super attentive. And when people got sick, they would bring them medicine, and it was just like you knew people were there to look out for you, which is, I think that's very rare. I mean, I haven't done that many artist alleys, but you know, whether it's craft fairs or other artist alleys that I've seen, that usually doesn't happen. And I think it's also because there's not that many artists here. But yeah, it was just like super organized like that. Also, each booth had a trash can, which is super helpful. All the little things that you use usually just end up kind of being everywhere, but they had a trash can for us, which was really nice. And then for Monday, I went to the Georgia Aquarium. Honestly, this was what was getting me through the entire weekend, and it did not disappoint. I saw some of the coolest animals like belugas, and they had sharks, which I don't think I've ever seen up close. Saw some dolphins splash around, splash the people, jump up and do the twirly things, and I was ready to go back to Seattle. I'm back in Seattle now, and I feel like a month has passed, even though it's only been 5 days. I'm editing this and I realized I'd never actually talked about my profits and expenses, so let me talk about it right now. This event is very expensive for me to attend. Like I said before, it's the most expensive event I've ever attended, and that's because I was traveling really far, going from Seattle to Atlanta and staying for 4 nights and vending for 3 days. So some of the costs, I'll list out the items so you can have an understanding of like what are the things to expect when you travel out of state. There was obviously the table cost, and then the hotel, flights, Uber around the city. And then I also, this time I calculated my, like a rough cost of goods sold, just because the margins were so tight. So I did an estimation there, as well as the fee that I used to use Square as my POS terminal. So all of those things added up together came to about $1,600. That's a lot of money. And in the end, when I take out the expenses from the revenue that I made, revenue being just how much I sold across the 3 days, not including sales tax, I came out to a profit of about $950. $950, when you hear that number, you're like, oh, so you were positive. Yes, that's good. Especially the first day, I was super scared that I wasn't even going to make my expenses back. So I'm super happy that I was able to make all my expenses back and then some. But for me personally, $950 across 3 days flying across the country is not worth it for me. I've done much better at local events. I've done way better at 2-day events that are much closer to Seattle. So for me, the amount of effort and time dedicated to this show for this outcome is just not really worth it for me. I understand everybody has different standards, and the reason why I'm sharing these numbers is so that everybody can have like a little bit of a deeper understanding of, I mean, you've seen my table, you know what I sell. So I think it's just more data points for you to potentially use that to make more informed decisions. This is not meant for people to start discussing, how I should feel about a certain amount of money. Money can get weird sometimes. So yeah, that's how much I made. This event is very quirky, and it's very different to other traditional Comic-Cons, anime cons, and craft fairs. At its core, I would describe DreamHack as a gaming convention with an artist alley just kind of thrown into there. I didn't think Artist Alley was particularly valued by the event, and honestly not even valued by the attendees, and I'll explain what I mean by that in a minute. Let's start with the organization, the company that organized this event. Why do I say I feel like Artist Alley isn't valued by the organization? Number one, there was a lot asked from the artists themselves. Each artist was required to make 5 social media posts to promote the event. And on top of that, because they had an official artist, because the event had an official stamp rally, artists weren't allowed to have separate stamp rallies. If you wanted to participate, you can put your name in for the official stamp rally. Artists were also asked for donations, asked for designs for a coloring page if you wanted to participate. And if you wanted to reduce your table price from $650 to $500, you had to design a exclusive merch. That could be stickers, pins, anything you wanted. And that design had to be approved by the staff. And finally, you could opt in to do quests, where you basically give up a little space at your table for attendees to come and do a little puzzle. They complete a bunch of puzzles, and I think they get a prize at the end. But that also meant during the event, you kind of had to babysit the attendees. I say that because my neighbor had a quest, and you could see people come up and ask him questions about where's the quest, how does it work, and questions like that. So that's a lot of things. Oh, also there was a pre-event Zoom call, which was also for our benefit, but that was another thing. Yeah, that's a lot of things, and a lot of artists actually did multiple of those things. So they did the stamp rally, they did the social media posts, they did the donations and coloring page, and it was just a lot. I put my name down for everything, but I actually wasn't chosen for a lot of stuff. So I only did the exclusive merch and I did the social media posts. And thinking back, I'm like, damn, that was a lot of things. And that's why this event has like been on my mind for like the past 2 months, because I had to really, there was a lot of planning going on. But despite all of these things, Artist Alley was actually a fairly small section placed at the very corner, at the top right corner of the convention. So if you didn't intend to go to Artist Alley, you will not pass by it. All the vendors, at least all the exhibitors with the Artist Alley, weren't allowed to bring in outside food. There was security each morning that checked out bags. And so everybody be sneaking in as many snacks as they could. And people had to like chug their coffees and their drinks before they went into the convention center. I snuck in food every day, okay? I went to the person that looked really nice. And, and they gave me a look and I gave them a look and then we went in. I didn't know it was that weird until people said other events that happened at the same convention center would allow Artist Alley people to bring in food. So I don't know what was happening there. Oh yeah, and they didn't even allow water, but I snuck in water every day. Number 3, the space was very dimly lit. I know previous years apparently was even dimmer and they improved that, but it was still pretty dim for a space where you would like people to clearly see your artwork. I know people brought in their own LED lights. I didn't bring one because my baggage was literally way too heavy. But I feel like that did kind of affect my booth, because when I was walking down the aisle, I noticed like, oh, Shirley's a little dim there. Well, I don't know if that was the case for all the exhibitors besides Artist Alley, but that was the case for us. A lot of this was reflected to the staff as it was happening, but the response we were given was basically there's nothing that they can do. For example, the convention doesn't allow people to bring outside food. Apparently they pushed for location change, but further like leadership that was more higher up denied that. But overall, I think the result is Artist Alley was kind of a lower priority item on their list, and a lot of things were just very inconvenient for artists. A lot was asked of artists, but we didn't really get the treatment that I feel like we really deserved. Let me just say that that's not unusual. And what I mean by that is artists being treated kind of as second-class citizens at other events is, from what I see and hear, pretty common. Which makes sense. Like, we're not paying as much as, other like big companies that are coming to like sponsor events and have a gigantic booth and things like that, right? The thing is, at other Comic-Cons, events, craft fairs, the attendees really make up for it, because they make it a point to go shop at Artist Alley and support the artists. Whereas the attendees here were not like that. People here came for the games, the tournaments, and Artist Alley was an afterthought. Most people probably didn't even come by Artist Alley. So even though there was, I believe, 17,000 tickets sold, the amount of traffic that we saw, at least from the aisle that I was in, was not even a tiny fraction of that. And a lot of attendees also seemed like surprised or confused at the existence of Artist Alleys. Like, I got more questions around like what is this? Like, oh, so you drew this? Like, oh, like, they were learning about the concept of like, oh, what is an Artist Alley? Like, this is kind of cool. And it's not to say that the attendees were at fault, because we are not entitled to anyone's money. It's just that there wasn't really a fit. They weren't looking for Artist Alley, and we were very out of the way. So when you take an event that really had Artist Alley as a lower priority, and that's being reflected in Artist Alley's placement, and you put that in front of a group of people who didn't really care for Artist Alley, what you get is very low traffic and low conversion rates. That, coupled with obviously the economy and then the hurricane that just hit, meant that this entire event was very disappointing overall for the artists, even compared to previous DreamHacks in Atlanta. So what does that mean for artists? Should you do this event? I personally would not be coming back next year. And I think you can make a decision based on, information that you hear from this vlog as well as other artists. But if there are major changes, I will be open to coming back if they want me again. I think this event is a reminder that just because an event is expensive and there are lots of changes doesn't mean an event is going to drastically get better compared to past performances. because that's what I was really banking on. Like, I was like, there is a chance that it could be a big money event because they change the dates, they change the venue, and it's so much more expensive. But I think the more rational things to do, or I guess the less risky thing to do, is look at the past performance of Artist Alley at the same event and make a decision off of that. It's a reminder to me of how important it is for artists who are participating in these events to give feedback to the organizers, but also, I think the more important one, to share their experience with other artists, like I'm doing now in this video. This industry is very different because it relies heavily on word of mouth to get information. There's not a lot of places where you can understand, well, how well did previous artists do and why was that the case? And context is always lost as leadership for different events gets changed year after year. I think it's really important for artists who have bad and good experiences to share that and share as much context as possible so other people can make the most informed choices. That's just what I think. Here's to my first big fail as a full-time artist. I'll be sharing more about my experiences at Artist Alleys in the future, so like and follow if you want to come along for the adventure. Bye!